there it is, guys. Wow. We've been waiting for this thing for a while, and I'm super nervous actually, because if you look really closely, it looks like there might be some damage. I really hope not, but I mean, they did a really good job for packaging this and, shipping it from all the way, across the country. Not even the country. I mean, that's a whole different continent. And, overseas on the boat and all that stuff. And wow, they made kind of like an exoskeleton for it. And same thing with the bigger package. So I'm guessing this box right here might be the side skirts. This might have the front lip, the diffuser, which the diffuser is going to be a pain in the butt, and the front lip. I believe you got to glue it on there. And this probably also has a rear spoiler at the bottom block. I might be mistaken. Maybe they put the spoiler up here and then the brackets. I don't know. But this has got me a little bit nervous. The box doesn't look ripped aside from that right there. They did a really good job with basically this right here. I mean, they made a little spot for the forklift to get underneath. I'm not sure what happened on the other side over there. They didn't do that one. And same thing with the bottom here. Sides are obviously all banged up. I mean, this thing got shipped from a whole different country, guys. So, it goes in, it gets loaded in and stuff. The bottom pallet over here kind of broke off. Other than that, the box doesn't have any holes. Look, no punching holes through it, no cracks, I mean, nothing like that. So I'm hoping that everything is in good shape. Because boy, would that suck to find out once we open everything that there's cracked carbon or damaged carbon or pieces or chunks possibly missing. So let's go ahead, without further ado, and get this thing all unpackaged and see what we're working with. Alright guys, so they actually used, you guys just saw that. We're using a screwdriver, a hammer, and it says be fragile with it. So I'm trying to be fragile with this thing, and that's all that came off. That's like 1/8 of an inch of a piece of wood that just came off that thing. They definitely used double the size of wood. That looks like almost, about a 1/2 inch thick of wood. And they definitely did not go any easier on the staples than the other one. So what may look like it only took 30 seconds to unbox this is probably gonna actually take more like 15, 20 minutes to do it the gentle way without damaging this, so enjoy. Alrighty, we got it all off the crate. Same with that piece over there. Hammer and chisel, and we're very, very fragile. So let's go ahead, open this thing up, make sure that nothing's broken. But as you guys can see, there's the bottom that was broken, and we had to flip it over to its side because it was holding it on, and the other slat was also broken there. So really praying that nothing is damaged on this thing, but we won't know until we open it up. So let's just go ahead. We got our knife over here. Let's go ahead and open this thing up. There's a ton of packaging in this thing, and we do have another thing right here that's all packaged up, but we can probably rip it out and kind of see, wow, that carbon fiber looks really nice, guys. This looks like it is the spoiler for the GTR spoiler kit. And I'm gonna bring this up closer to the camera, but you can kind of see the weaves into this carbon Wow, this looks really good. Nothing looks cracked. There's also some other parts on here as well. I'm assuming this right here is gonna be my front lip. So basically everything is packaged really well. Nothing, I mean, it seems broken, but again, I haven't unpackaged it all the way yet. But we're gonna bring all this stuff into the shop. I think I'm gonna start off with probably doing the front grill, not grill, I'm sorry. We're gonna start with doing the front, maybe lip. No, we're gonna start with doing the spoiler, the most easiest one hopefully. And then after the spoiler, we'll do the side skirts, the front lip, and then the diffuser. I've heard the diffuser is very complicated. You gotta remove the bumper, disconnect everything, drill through some rivets, remove the old diffuser, and put it all back together. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. But let's go ahead, get all this stuff into our shop, pull the AMG GT in there once again, and tear it all apart again. Alrighty guys, so we got the AMG GT in here, and obviously we gotta probably remove these panels right here. This pops off, the lights pops off, all this stuff comes right off, and then that should give us access to basically the spoiler. So once again, we're gonna have to remove this, probably the light, there's probably a hidden screw back here, you know, and then there's clips, so you just wanna make sure you're careful, you don't wanna break any plastics or anything like that. That then should give us access to the spoiler. We'll remove this one, put our bottom base on there, which is right there, and then we'll put our top wing once we have the bottom base mounted. So the cool thing is, I believe that this bottom base is gonna also be carbon fiber, so it's gonna look pretty cool. So let's go ahead, get all this on there, and start tearing this all apart. All right, guys, so we got our rear spoiler off, and we have a couple bolts all underneath here that we got to remove all this stuff right here. And then we also have to take off this bottom cover over here because our third brake light goes there, and this is the wire for the third brake light, I believe. So we're gonna have to splice into that since we have a third brake light on this spoiler. So we're gonna have to wire that up, and then we can install the spoiler once we take this off and wire it all up and then put it back together. So let's go ahead, knock this out, wire it up, and hopefully everything works. Alrighty guys, so now we're gonna go ahead and install the side skirts, and we first have to go ahead, and since this came with like a valence package on this car, we're gonna have to go ahead and remove the old one and then get the new one on there and bolt it down. It's got the factory holes right there. So let's go ahead. I'll probably just pull this old one out, and we could probably sell these old pieces in the old spoiler. I think that's a PV Performance 1 or something like that spoiler, OEM, and we could probably sell all this stuff on eBay and recruit back our cost for this carbon fiber kit. Probably not, all of it, but at least it's not just sitting around. So we're gonna go ahead. If anyone's interested in any of these parts, feel free to give me a holler. you can go ahead and actually, you know, message us, and I'll go ahead and send you our info. But yeah, the side skirt, we're gonna have to remove that lower valence. So let's go ahead and get right on it. Alrighty guys, so we've been doing some test fitting on this thing, and I just wanted to mock it up to make sure everything lines up, and I'm by myself today, so I think it's gonna work. It's gonna work pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead. I put tape around that spot just to make sure there's no scratches in case it didn't fit or something like that, but it fits, and you need to kind of hold it, and then we're gonna use body panel glue. Glue it in there, and on top of that, it comes with double-sided tape, and they say use screws, but this is polyurethane, so you don't want to use screws, because what'll happen over time is the screws will start wiggling and work its way out. And with double-sided tape, the moment you hit something, you know, the double-sided tape will come undone, and then you get dust behind the tape and the panel, and you know, stuff never sticks again. And you know, body panel is the best way to go on this, and we've done it on our G-Wagon build as well. And a lot of people don't know this, but they actually use body panel glue to hold down, you know, your roof to your car, you know, quarter panels, stuff like that. So this is kind of like a sneak preview. I'm gonna take all this yellow stuff off of it and get it on there. Dang guys, take a look at that spoiler. It looks insane. And I know we put the spoiler together, and I mean, I love how everything looks, the angles, the edges, the fins and all that. The carbon fiber weave quality is just amazing. I know we put the spoiler on, and before even finishing the trunk panels, putting all that back together, I jumped ahead and did the side skirt because I really wanted to see what the side skirt looked like. And then I jumped ahead and did the front lip before I did the other side skirt. And the reason for that is because I was super excited and I really wanted to see what that front end would look like, and everything looked perfect. So I went ahead and then jumped the gun and finished that side skirt, put all this back together, and we have one last piece left, and that's gonna be the rear diffuser. And that diffuser is actually right behind me over here, as you guys can see it. It's gonna be game changer. It's gonna change that rear end, and it's gonna make it look more aggressive. This rear diffuser also has fins that go one here, there, and there as well. And I think it's just gonna be game changer, guys. But without further ado, let's go ahead. We're gonna have to remove this rear bumper and put it all together. So guys, it is the next day. Actually, it got kind of late on us last night, and we're gonna go ahead and actually get this diffuser actually installed. We gotta put the fins all together. I believe these are the mounting screws that came with it, and there's got pre-drilled spots on this diffuser. I'm gonna grab the camera and see if I can turn it around here, and I can show you guys. There's one there, there, and there. They also gave us some double-sided tape. I think what I'm gonna do is try to see if we can get double-sided tape on there and put the screws in there, and that way they'll give us the 3 fins down the center over there. And then we're gonna go ahead and take this apart, pull apart the bumper, pull the bottom diffuser apart, and get it all back together. Alrighty guys, so we got the rear bumper all removed. Take a look at how the rear end on this thing is. There's basically the transmission on these AMG GTs, if you guys didn't know already, is obviously in the back. You've got the transmission right there, runs like a drive axle, and your exhaust mounts and everything else for your tips on your exhaust is actually on the back bumper right over here. It's kind of like the Ferraris, the Lamborghinis, all the other kind of, cars that I believe Audi R8s are the same thing. Your tips are part of this. So what we have to actually do to install this diffuser right over here, we're gonna have to go ahead, remove these rivets, drill these out, remove this exhaust shield, which will probably come out with this one piece right over here as it's all connected. So we probably don't have to remove those bolts, but all these clips that go around along this section, all around here and going around here, we're gonna have to probably remove this heat shield as well to get access behind it. And all those tabs have to be removed to remove the rear diffuser. And on the bottom of the rear diffuser, we also have more rivets. So this is gonna be very fun. Let's go ahead, get all this removed. There's a lot of rivets. Alrighty guys, so we went ahead and removed everything over. One thing we're struggling with, as you know, there's a bunch of wiring harnesses that you gotta disconnect, but there's also one little one right there, as you guys can see the tab, and that goes to the exhaust temperature sensor, which plugs in right here, and that's what I was fighting to get that clip out, because it was coming undone, but felt like something was stuck, and that wire goes behind this rear diffuser factory trim of the piano black cover, and you have to kind of pop this out, and it's basically like a big giant, I don't know, thermometer or rubber piece or something, and we're gonna pull this out and relocate it over to our new one, and that, I guess, measures the temperature of your exhaust. Not sure what that'll do. I mean, I guess if you're shooting flames, maybe it's worth it so you don't melt your bumper, but I don't know. I guess that's Mercedes for you. Guys, so we pulled this thing out to take it for a quick drive to make sure, everything's functioning. Nothing's like, for example, making noises or flapping around. I've seen some of these guys buy some kits and the rear spoiler rip off if it's not installed properly, or it's even flexing around, guys. So I wanted to make sure to get this thing up and driving to make sure, you know, we had it all apart. So you want to make sure you don't hear abnormal noises, nothing binding up. I mean, it shouldn't bind up, but, you know, any rattling and stuff like that from broken clips. So we're driving right now. We're doing around 65, 70 miles an hour. And I got to say, nothing's doing nothing. I mean, it is perfect. No rattles, no clip noises, no vibrations, no wings flapping or flying off. So I am super happy with this thing. Let's get this thing back home. We'll do a walk around it so you guys can see it. But man, this thing turned out amazing. Guys, this AMG GT is looking really good. I'm super happy with how everything turned out on this car, and as you guys can see behind me, it looks beautiful. The carbon quality is excellent. Putting on the front splitter was probably the hardest part, guys. You got to make sure when it's going in, especially if you're using panel mod, that everything, you know, it moves around on you, so you want to make sure it doesn't just shift on you, and you want to use tape so it can hold it overnight. But once we got everything adjusted, it's all perfect. The side skirts are beautiful as well. The rear spoiler, I mean, this whole entire kit, I feel like personally, just makes the whole car come back together. And I mean, the car's already beautiful to begin with, but this thing just pops it out of the park. I mean, I think this thing right here is just the way it sits and everything. I'm super happy with it. But guys, this puts our AMG GT all done and completed for the series. If we get any upgrades or anything else that comes in the future, make sure you guys are subscribed. So hit that subscribe button, actually smash that subscribe button so you guys can stay tuned and see more content like this or any other builds that we have. But as of right now, I mean, if you guys remember this thing 2 or 3 months ago, it was sitting literally right here that we were replacing the suspension on it. The car didn't even start. It was a pain to get it off the transport truck. I mean, we had no idea. The bags were blown on it. The front end was missing. The suspension was completely taken out, guys. But for what it sits right now and how it runs and coming back with flying colors from the dealership, passing it, I think we got ourselves a solid deal and a solid runner here. So if you guys like what you guys saw, smash that thumbs up button. On top of that, drop it down a comment and subscribe. Until then, guys, we'll see you on the next one.